Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. In this video, we will be covering some important topics and questions related to those topics of the DP-600 exam. You can find the complete PDF of this video and our practice questions through the link down in the description. We have more than 30 plus certifications and are here to help you achieve your certification goals. We will try to answer all of your doubts related to the DP-600 exam, such as the exam does not have hands-on lab or simulation type questions. It does have, however, case study type questions. The exam duration is around 150 minutes in which you have to answer 40 to 60 questions. The minimum passing score is 700 out of 1000. There is no negative marking in the exam. This certification will be valid for a year after you earn it. About the exam renewal process, you have to recertify and it is free. This is a tutorial video for the DP-600 exam and contains practice questions for the same. These are the topics that we will be covering in this video. However, these are not all the topics that will come in the exam. As such, we will be publishing more videos in the future. So please make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. To our first topic, Microsoft Fabric. What is Microsoft Fabric? It is an end-to-end analytics and data platform designed for enterprises that require a unified solution. It encompasses data movement, processing, ingestion, transformation, real-time event routing, and report building. It offers a comprehensive suite of services including data engineering, data factory, data science, real-time analytics, data warehouse, and databases. With Fabric, you don't need to assemble different services from multiple vendors. Instead, it offers a seamlessly integrated, user friendly platform that simplifies your analytics requirements. Operating on a software as a service model, Fabric brings simplicity and integration to your solutions. Unification with SaaS Foundation. Microsoft Fabric is built on a foundation of software as a service. It combines both new and existing components from Power BI, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, and more services into a unified environment. These components are then tailored into customized user experiences. In this image, you can see a unified environment created by Microsoft Fabric with all these components. These workloads work together seamlessly and provide the following advantages: access to an extensive range of deeply integrated analytics in the industry, shared experiences across experiences that are familiar and easy to learn, easy access to and readily reuse all assets, unified data lake storage that preserves data in its original location while using your preferred analytics tools, centralized administration, centralized administration and governance across all experiences. One lake. Data lake is the foundation on which all the Fabric workloads are built. Microsoft Fabric Lake is also known as One Lake. One Lake is built into the Fabric platform and provides a unified location to store all organizational data where the workloads operate. One Lake is built on ADLS Gen 2. It provides a single SaaS experience and a tenant-wide store for data that serves both professional and citizen developers. OneLake simplifies Fabric experiences by eliminating the need for you to understand infrastructure components such as resource groups, RBAC, Azure Resource Manager, redundancy, or regions. You don't need an Azure account to use Fabric. To the questions related to the same topics. Question 1. You have a fabric tenant that contains a data pipeline. You need to ensure that the pipeline runs every 4 hours on Mondays and Fridays. To what should you set repeat for the schedule? Here in this question, we want the data pipeline to run every 4 hours on Mondays and Fridays. As such, we should set weekly repeat for the schedule. Thus, the correct option is C. The only way to do this is to set the schedule to weekly, set the days on Monday and Friday, and add manually 6 time of 4-hour intervals. Question 2. You have a fabric tenant that contains a lake house named Lake House 1. Lake House 1 contains an unpartitioned table named Table 1. You plan to copy data to Table 1 and partition the table based on a date column in the source data. You create a copy activity to copy the data to Table 1. You need to specify the partition column in the destination settings of the copy activity. What should you do first? In this question, we have a lake house named Lake House 1 that contains an unpartitioned table named Table 1. We have to copy data to Table 1 and partition the table based on date column. We have created a copy activity, copy the data to Table 1. We need to specify the partition column in the destination settings of the copy activity. As such, the most appropriate option here is from the destination tabs set mode to overwrite. Thus, the correct option is D. When setting up the copy activity, you need to choose the overwrite mode to make the partition option appear. Question 3. You have a fabric tenant that contains a lakehouse. You plan to query sales data files by using the SQL endpoint. The files will be in an Amazon Simple Storage Service storage bucket. You need to recommend which file format to use and where to create a shortcut. Which two actions should you include in the recommendation? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note, each correct answer is worth 1 point. In this question, according to the requirements, the recommended file format is Parquet format and the shortcut should be created in the tables section. Thus, the correct options are B and D. About the options B, you should use a columnar file format such as Parquet or ORC. These formats are highly optimized for analytical queries and provide efficient storage and query performance. In the tables section of your lakehouse, you define virtual tables that represent external data sources. These virtual tables can be backed by data stored externally in formats such as Parquet or ORC in Amazon S3. Question 4. You have a fabric tenant that contains a complex semantic model. The model is based on a star schema and contains many tables, including a fact table named sales. You need to create a diagram of the model. The diagram must contain only the sales table and related tables. What should you use from Microsoft Power BI desktop? In this question, we have a fabric tenant that contains a complex semantic model. It is based on a star schema and includes a fact table named sales along with other tables. We have to create a diagram of the model. As such, from the Microsoft Power BI desktop, we should use the model view. Thus, the correct option is C. Question 5. You are analyzing the data in a Fabric notebook. You have a Spark data frame signed to a variable named df. You need to use the chart view in the notebook to explore the data manually. Which function should you run to make the data available in the chart view? In order to make the data available in the chart view, we should use the display function. As such, the correct option is D. Display allows to see chart and inspect statistics. Question 6. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a workspace named Workspace 1. Workspace 1 is assigned to a Fabric capacity. You need to recommend a solution to provide users with the ability to create and publish custom direct lake semantic models by using external tools. The solution must follow the principle of least privilege. Which three actions in the Fabric admin portal should you include in the recommendation? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Here in this question, we want to recommend a solution to provide users with the ability to create and publish custom direct lake semantic models and one that follows the principle of least privilege. The three actions that should be included in the recommendations from the tenant settings set allow XML endpoints and analyze in Excel with on-premises datasets to enabled. From the capacity settings, set XML endpoint to read write. From the tenant settings, set users can create fabric items to enabled. Thus, the correct options are A, D, and E. Question 7. Hotspot. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 and an Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 account named Storage 1. Workspace 1 contains a lakehouse named Lakehouse 1. You need to create a shortcut to Storage 1 in Lakehouse 1. Which connection and endpoint should you specify? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. To the answer area, connection. Here, the correct option is HTTPS. To the next statement, endpoint. Here, the correct option is DFS. If you look at the tooltip in the connection settings, it has the following about the endpoint, where the example shows HTTPS, the URL of the ADLSG2 endpoint to connect to. To avoid invalid credential errors, be aware to use the .dfs rather than .blob endpoint. Ensure you are assigned a blob specific role and have the networking access set appropriately. To the next topic, data warehouse. What is a data warehouse in Microsoft Fabric? Microsoft Fabric is a next generation data warehousing solution within Microsoft Fabric. The lake centric warehouse is built on an enterprise grade distributed processing engine that enables industry leading performance at scale while minimizing the need for configuration and management. Living in the data lake and designed to natively support open data formats, Fabric Data Warehouse enables seamless collaboration between data engineers and business users without compromising security or governance. The easy to use SaaS experience is also tightly integrated with Power BI for easy analysis and reporting, converging the world of data lakes and warehouses and greatly simplifying an organization's investment in their analytics estate. Synapse Data Warehouse. In a Microsoft Fabric workspace, a Synapse Data Warehouse or warehouse is labeled as a warehouse in the type column. When you need the full power and transactional capabilities of a data warehouse, this is the fast and simple solution for you. In the image, you can see a Synapse data warehouse labeled as a warehouse in the type column. Row level security in Fabric data warehousing. Row level security enables you to use group membership or execution context to control access to rows in a database table. For example, you can ensure that workers access only those data rows that are pertinent to their department. Another example is to restrict customers' data access to only the data relevant to their company in a multi tenant architecture. A feature is similar to row level security in SQL Server. Row level security simplifies the design and coding of security in your application. Row level security helps you implement restrictions on data row access. The access restriction logic is in the database tier, not in any single application tier. The database applies the access restrictions every time data access is attempted from any application or reporting platform, including Power BI. This makes your security system more reliable and robust by reducing the surface area of your security system. Row level security only applies to queries on a warehouse or SQL Analytics endpoint in Fabric. Power BI queries on a warehouse in direct lake mode will fall back to direct query mode to abide by row level security. To the questions related to the same topic, question 8. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a warehouse. The warehouse uses row level security. You create a direct lake semantic model that uses the delta tables and RLS of the warehouse. When users interact with the report built from the model, which mode will be used by the DAX queries? Here in this question, we have a warehouse that uses row level security. We also have a direct lake semantic model that uses it and delta tables. When users interact with a report built from the model, the DAX queries will use the direct query mode. Thus, the correct option is A. RLS only applies to queries on a warehouse or SQL Analytics endpoint in Fabric. Power BI queries on a warehouse in direct lake mode will fall back to direct query mode to abide by RLS. When users interact with a report built from a direct lake semantic model, which leverages row level security and delta tables from a warehouse, the DAX queries will operate in direct query mode. Question 9. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a warehouse. A user discovers that a report that usually takes 2 minutes to render has been running for 45 minutes and has still not rendered. You need to identify what is preventing the report query from completing. Which dynamic management view should you use? Here, according to our requirements, we should use the sys.dm underscore exec underscore requests dynamic management view. Thus, the correct option is A. Question 10. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a warehouse named Warehouse 1. Warehouse 1 contains two schemas named Schema 1 and Schema 2 and a table named schema1.city. You need to make a copy of schema1.city in Schema 2. The solution must minimize the copying of data. Which TSQL statement should you run? Here in this question, we have a warehouse that contains two schemas named Schema 1 and Schema 2 and a table named schema1.city that we need to copy in schema 2. Considering the solution must minimize the copying of data, the most appropriate option here is create table schema2.city as clone of schema1.city semicolon. Thus, the correct option is C. To the next topic, Power Query. What is Power Query? It is a data transformation and data preparation engine. Power Query comes with a graphical interface for getting data from sources and a Power Query editor for applying transformations. Because the engine is available in many products and services, the destination where the data will be stored depends on where Power Query was used. Using Power Query, you can perform the ETL processing of data. Here you can see a simple diagram about Power Query that is then connected to services such as Data Lake Storage, Dataverse, Excel, and Power BI. Fuzzy merge is a smart data preparation feature you can use to apply fuzzy matching algorithms when comparing columns. These algorithms try to find matches across the tables that are being merged. You can enable fuzzy matching at the bottom of the merge dialog box by selecting the Use Fuzzy Matching to perform the merge option button. To the questions related to the same topic, question 11, you have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 and an Azure SQL database. You plan to create a data flow that will read data from the database and then transform the data by performing an inner join. You need to ignore spaces in the values when performing the inner join. The solution must minimize development effort. What should you do? Here in this question, as we want to ignore spaces in the values while minimizing development effort, we should merge the queries by using fuzzy matching. Thus, the correct option is B. Question 12. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a warehouse. You use a data flow to load a new dataset from one lake to the warehouse. You need to add a Power Query step to identify the maximum values for the numeric columns. Which function should you include in the step? According to our requirements, we should add the table.profile function in the step. Thus, the correct option is D. These were all the questions for this video. You can find the complete PDF of this video and our practice questions through the link down in the description. Please make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.